Hi, I'm Tracy Harris, and I'm with the Dealer News International Powersports Dealer Expo, and I'm here talking with Phil with LS2 Helmets.
Hi, Tracy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Phil?
Really good. Thanks for having me today.
So, Phil, I know you and I talked quite a bit, starting really before our February 2013 show, about your thoughts around Dealer Expo, where the show had been, where it was going, where you thought it might need to go, and then we talked probably 3 or 4 times after that, as we went through the process of making a decision about where the show should be held, when the show should be held, and what really the show should deliver. And we came to a lot of conclusions, and once we came to those conclusions and we shared them with you, you actually felt that we had made some incorrect decisions. And but you still kept an open mind, and we still kept the dialogue open. And at some point, we were able to demonstrate to you that the decisions we were making were correct. So what led you from this is not the right decision to this is a good decision and we're going to support you?
Okay, fair enough. Well, to start with, I want to make sure you're clear that it wasn't that I wasn't interested in attending Dealer Expo. It was that I was to the point where if something didn't change, shows had outlived their usefulness. And that was really the stance. I just wasn't going to do shows anymore because they were the same old song and dance, and it was on this mode. And I think somewhere along the line, we, as an industry, we were all so worried about selling our product. In my case, helmets. We got to sell that helmet that we lost track of the fact that the best way to do that is to have a healthy industry. And so it was really more about helping the dealer. My selling a helmet was the secondary part of that, not the first. Okay. So that was the first thing I think you and I talked about, was the show has to deliver a lot more well-being for the dealer than we've seen in the past. And so then I heard about Chicago. And you're right, I doubted you. And I don't think I was too shy about telling you so.
You weren't.
But you invited my office, along with quite a few other industry people, out to Chicago, and we went to the center and we got to see the actual area, and we got a nice tour, and the center is outstanding. But more importantly, while we were there, I think we all tend to think that we know what our customers want.
Right.
And to some extent, the more you do, the better your guess is, but it's always a guess. The only way to know is to ask. And so what I thought was what my dealers wanted was wrong, and the way I found out is because you guys are a survey machine. So when you went and asked the dealers, and I could look at the data, I could see what they really wanted. It wasn't Vegas.
Right. It wasn't Vegas. It wasn't Anaheim.
Yeah. So start with that. Finding out, realizing again, I've always been a believer in that 500-mile radius, whether it was Cincy, Indy, Chicago, it's the same 500 miles, and that's where the dealers are, and you got to go where the dealers are, right? As an industry, we tend to, again, industry people, I'm hopping on an airplane all the time, so I tend to think that that's the way of life. Most of the local dealers that I talk to, they want to get there quick, get their information, get out quick. You got to go to where the dealers are.
Right.
So that made sense. Time of year, from Daytona all the way through Milan, there's not, if it's good weather, people talk about the weather and what time of year you're going to do this. Well, there's good weather, we're out riding.
Right.
There's an
Shops
event.
are still open.
Yeah, there's an event all the time from Daytona, right, like you say, through November. And the old time didn't work, that February
time frame,
and
right.
it didn't work because I didn't get to be with my wife on Valentine's Day. So that, that wasn't cutting it.
Yeah, I got a lot of email about that.
Every year. So, and again, by the survey, in all seriousness, I realized that with the changing the economy, a lot of dealers had to, unfortunately, cut back on staff. And when they don't have staff, they can't leave. So you were forced to pull it back in. That made sense to me. You had to pull it into a time of year when they had people there. Right. And I hear people argue, oh, well, nobody's going to leave at the premium time of year. Well, then that means they're never going to leave. They're not married to their businesses. If they have a good staff, it gives them confidence to go. So that pre-Christmas time is a great time for a dealership, hopefully. But they do have the staff. They're still staffed up. And so if they've got a good staff, they can probably squeeze a few days away. Since Chicago's close, There you go. It made sense.